Let's go! New Energymaxxing video. And in this one, I'll tell you my proven methods to Healthmaxxing. Because I've not been sick for about 9 years by now when I did the things I'll reveal to you in this video. And that despite me spending weeks on end in the hospital for the first 2 years of my life because my health back then was in a very problematic state. Luckily, things have changed now. So are you ready to start your own Healthmaxxing journey? Unlock the best version of yourself, improve your well-being, and for this video specifically, start the right habits that might help you to barely ever get sick again. Then watch this video because I will tell you the essential steps you have to take on your Healthmaxxing journey. What 20% can give you 80% of the results here, and like I said, what I'm doing to basically never get sick for almost a decade by now. No colds, no fever or anything like that. So what are those steps that I'd take if I was starting to Healthmaxx all over again? And how did I even get to the place I'm in now? That's what we're gonna look at now after I gave you this quick 8-second disclaimer. Because I'm not a medical professional, I'm not your doctor, and I don't know you personally. I'd like to get to know you, but I don't. So my advice right here is generalized, could be wrong, and maybe not good for you. But with that out of the way, we can finally get into this. And I want to start this off by telling you about what started my Healthmaxxing journey. Because the initial discovery that started all this, and that I will tell you about now, is probably also one of the most important things for my health. And I'm still doing it to this day.
To this day!
And by the way, for this video, I'll mainly focus on physical health, simply to make it more concrete and simple. And a complete guide that covers spiritual and mental health too is something that might come in the future. So just comment if you want more like this. But how did I get on this Healthmaxxing journey almost a decade ago? I think it might actually because my life actually started with a big fuck up in health. For my first 2 years on this earth, it really honestly did not look good for me. I had some severe lung problems as a baby, and because it could not be fixed for a while, my whole left lung collapsed and I had big difficulties with breathing. Nowadays, fortunately this issue is settled, and fortunately it does not get any worse, unless probably I would start smoking, but it led to me only being able to use about 50% of my lungs.
It's not looking good, bruv.
And in my opinion, that's quite a nerve. But maybe it buffed me in other areas. And I think this whole thing just made me a bit more health conscious too. I definitely do have a few bad and unhealthy habits, but I'm aware of them, I work on them, I don't let them get too bad, and also I improved my health in many different other ways. But even as a young teenager, when I was just getting into puberty, I already wanted to focus on my health. And I did. And that's when I started my Healthmaxxing journey. It didn't even have to do anything with my lungs, but mainly just with the fact that I hated getting ill. I didn't want to be ill, so I looked for ways to improve my health because of that. If there was a way to never get sick again, I'd definitely want to have that for myself. And one of my first big discoveries at the beginning of this journey was also probably one of, if not the most important things to achieve better health and never get sick, at least definitely for me. I randomly stumbled over vitamin D when I was about 14 years old. I watched a few videos about it back then and I educated myself about this vitamin that's actually a hormone. And I also bought myself my first supplement. To be honest, at first I probably took too much of it in hindsight, but believe it or not, I did not notice any drawbacks. Actually, it was pretty damn good. I didn't notice the testosterone boost or the boost in mental health or mood, but I did notice that I was suddenly not getting sick anymore. Before I didn't get sick crazy often, but I think just in normal amounts. Like, I don't know, twice, maybe 3 times a year, something like that. But now, on average, I get sick every year about 0 times. At least when I'm actively taking the vitamin D. And I'm not over-exaggerating. This is my brutal truth. And I'm also, please don't mistake this, this is not a flex or to say, oh yeah, I'm so cool, I don't get ill, but it's because I want to tell you that this changed my life. Maybe yours too. Rarely I would get sick, even if I am taking vitamin D, but then it's only for 1 day, maximum 2 days, and only barely, like a little cough, but nothing like what I was used to from before. Like you probably know this meme about men having a cold or a flu and feeling like really ill, but honestly, this is actually not relatable for me, or at least definitely not anymore. And again, I'm not saying this to brag, but just show you how much vitamin D has improved my life. Like imagine not really getting ill for about a decade. This is awesome, and I'm so grateful for that. Now, this doesn't have to be the same for you, and I will also talk about other things I do as well. And honestly, also my immune system is probably pretty good, just by nature. But my point is, if you get sick very often, or maybe you struggle with bad mental health or low testosterone, maybe just try supplementing with vitamin D with about 4000 IU every day for a few weeks, and it might just change your life too. Again, I'm not telling you to do this, I'm not promising anything, but maybe it works. Maybe. But now, of course, there is more to health than just vitamin D, also for me. So what else do I do for Healthmaxxing that I think is essential? That's what I'm gonna talk about now. And here I have 4 basic things to cover. And then I'll also go over a few lesser known things that might play into my health too. Now, for those 4 basics, I quickly want to give you a few things to take away in regards to sleep, diet, exercise, and hygiene. Let me quickly elaborate on these. Those 4 things, in addition to the vitamin D, are probably the 20% that create 80% of the results for my physical health. Sleep is just essential, and you know that too. I don't understand how people can consistently just sleep like 4 to 5 hours, sleep at totally different times, or in whatever way have such bad sleep quality. Of course, you need good sleep for good physical health, and mental and spiritual too, but again, I'll talk about that in another video. Sleep is so important, it may not even be a pillar of good health, but actually the whole foundation. It's something I've always done, and this meme does embody my attitude pretty well. Of course, sometimes I too get little or bad sleep, but in general, it's so important to just get good sleep. And again, you know it as well, so I'm not gonna waste any more time on this. Sleep long enough at similar times and get good quality sleep. Then we have diet, which is of course a more complex discussion. And to be fair, also my diet wasn't always the best. It still could be improved, but this whole thing could probably also deserve its own video. Actually, I made a video about how I eat for more energy and more testosterone, but the most important things are just don't eat garbage, especially not often. And you know what garbage is. Actually cook, eat nutrient-rich foods like eggs for example, eat whole foods and bring in some variety to actually cover all the nutrients you need. That's actually something I always try to do, and I think it worked pretty alright. And before I talk about some other smaller, lesser known things, I quickly want to address the 2 other basics here too. Third, we have exercise, which has been a cornerstone of my life since I was 14 years old too. That's when I started in the gym back then, before I just played like football, hockey and stuff like that. But since going to the gym, I always trained at least 2 to 3 times every single week, like literally for about a decade now. And this is another big benefit of not getting sick. There is no need to take breaks from the gym. You're healthy, you can work out. Now you might say I don't look like that, but that's another discussion. But yeah, I see your point. And then we have hygiene, of course, too. Of course, this is a boring topic, but it might just be the most important thing for my health. Personally, I'm really conscious of this, at least I think so. And I wash my hands quite often, and I also feel like I have a feeling for when I have bacteria on my hands that's not good for me. It's probably not super reliable, but again, I just wash my hands quite often, and I also do notice when others don't. I don't know, it's just very important for me, and I think this played a big part in maintaining my health for this last decade as well. So wash your hands. But there is actually more. Lastly, I quickly want to tell you about a few small things that I do as well that probably improve my health too. But I won't go super deep because I don't want to waste your time. There's for one, cold showers, which I honestly don't always do, not very consistently. Sometimes I don't do it for a couple of weeks, but then for months on end I do it quite consistently. It's not a huge focus of mine, so I'm okay with that big scope inconsistency. But yeah, I've done it for years now and it has been proven to improve your immune system. Then also I go to the sauna somewhat consistently, but also only since about 1.5 years. So for all the years before that, that does not play into this. But I think this also improves my health even further. And then I also don't want to underestimate just introspective and actually listening to my body. Like, I try to realize and notice when I'm about to get sick. And then of course immediately rest or do something about it, like increasing my vitamin C intake. And that's just one part of it. I also really try to feel and notice when I need more social life, when I need to see friends and family more often. Or maybe when my purpose is weak, which worsens my mental health and my energy or my drive. Or maybe also when I feel that my diet was bad for the last couple of days and I just need more nutrients. Just listening to your body and trying to notice when something starts to feel off and then of course acting on it, I think can also be pretty helpful. But I think that's really about it, man. I do drink a lot of water too. I don't do too many bad habits and I prioritize mental health as well. I think this is also very important. Overall, one of the best ways to not get sick in a simple way is just to be in peak physical performance state. And as a guy, this also involves taking care of your testosterone. And this is also something I focus on, especially lately, a lot more. And for that, it's extremely essential that you eat the right foods. Now, what foods those are is something I just made a video about only a few days ago. So instead of repeating that here again, if you want to see that, feel free to watch it here. Or for more advice on being more energetic and improving your health, watch this video or check out my channel, because that's exactly what I focus on. Now, with that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you found this somewhat valuable at least. And then stay excellent, give this a like, and bye.